Hey there, it's Huarts, and today we're going to bring you a video on how to get better fast at Blade Symphony. It's going to be like a top 5 tricks, top 5 tips to improve your skills, since there's a lot of new players since this week. I'm Huarts. I've been probably the longest rank 1 in the game, and I'm part of a little group called Refinement. With me today is Shooting Star. He's rank 2, also part of Refinement. Say hello.
Hello everyone.
Alright, let's get this video going. Now the first thing, well, I guess the 5th place, or one tip to mention is customizing your options, settings, controls. Let me see a bunch of things here, and in my screen you see everything is disabled except for development console. Two things to look at here is mouse acceleration, attack and block grab, and double tap shuffle. Generally these are preferred to be disabled, so you don't want to do accidental moves or accidental over aiming your opponent, because mouse acceleration makes your mouse kind of dynamic and inaccurate, in my opinion. More settings to look at is game. You can see attack preview, that should be enabled so you can actually know what you're going to do. Land compensation should be enabled. Keep an input buffer on standard. It's my experience that is the more let's say, smooth experience for the game. And your own spray, always a good thing. The camera options, I have this one completely customized, and this is more of personal preference, but I like to have a little bit more height and a little bit more distance and no motion. I kept the field of view and spectator cam to standard. The most important thing here is to have those accidental moves disabled, so attack and block grab and double tap shuffle. They'll just get you killed, in my experience. Right, let's go to the second thing, and that's stance knowledge. I'm gonna have Shooting Star here switch his stance a bit, and go to fast, balance, and heavy. Now you see pure, kind of new character, but there's a bunch of stances, of course. This is, I think, the heavy stance. Go to fast, for example. Now, if you see someone in this stance, you think, okay, so he's fast. What can you do? You can switch to balanced. You can parry him, or you can switch to heavy to parry him. And those are your two safe options. But if you don't know what this is, you kind of find yourself switching through your stances, not knowing what you're supposed to do. So knowing the animations is going to decide what you do in the match. For example, let's say he's going to come at me with charging a heavy. So charge a heavy. What I'm going to do, what I failed to do just now, is go for an air. Let's do this again. Do an easier version. Let's go for an air, because air defeats heavy stance. So that way you can just kind of, when you're first starting to play the game, switch to whatever counters your opponent's stance. Just go learn the stances first and then keep switching to counter stances. If you do that fast enough, it becomes natural, and then you start developing more advanced moves, I suppose. What are your thoughts on that? Was that an accurate explanation?
Indeed it was. Also, it doesn't hurt to look through all the characters when they're charging, what they're doing. For example, whenever a pure charges her heavy, she always grabs the sword with her 2 hands. She doesn't do that in any other animation. It's a little trick. I always remember when a pure uses heavy because of looking at the hands. That's a little example.
Alright, that's good information. Well, let's move on to the third tip, and that will be counting attacks. Now you can see we have a little string counter. I'm sure if you played the official tutorial that it will teach you that the string does lead to different attacks. So you can see 4 strings, 4 dots for fast, 2 dots for balance, 1 for heavy. Now, when I say counting attacks, I mean your opponent's attacks. Let's say a Shooting Star attacks fast twice and then balance once or something.
Want me to have Katana or Jian?
Doesn't matter.
Alright. Balance 1?
Balance into fast. You can just do it in the air, you don't have to hit me. So he just did 2 attacks, and that means that he is on his 3rd attack on the fast. So in my field of view, that will look like this. This is how the screen should look like, down on the left side. It means he can do a 3rd fast attack. And let's look at his 3rd fast attack. Let's do 3 attacks. Now that means he can do that 3rd attack right there. So if you know what string he's on, you can predict that attack from incoming. So you can already think of what you're going to do against that. If he's actually going to use it, maybe he'll just bait you. But you can already prepare your stance, you can prepare your attack, you can prepare whatever you want to do, knowing that he has only that move to, if he wants to attack forward on the ground. So in the case of phalanx, or phalanx, if I did that, hit twice, and now I can do this long range attack. Now on the opponent's side, if you see someone do this, you count 1, 2, you now know that he is able to snipe you with an attack. So knowing this means you can also prepare for it. You can basically predict the range of your opponent. And that's pretty much important, and that's pretty important in this game. Any more comments to that?
Also, if you see your opponent stringing attacks together, if you see this sparkle, it means the strings have resetted. So it means your opponent is back at the 1st attack from their strings.
Alright. Let's go to the 4th one, a very simple one. Observe winners. Observe winners in this game. Let's say you have, you're going to a server and you see 2 queues with gigantic queues with like 5 people waiting on them. You see one guy going 10-0 or 15-0 or whatever. Just look at what he's doing. Look at what he's doing. Look at what is working against all these players, and learn what he's doing. If you can actually do the same thing, then you should technically be able to, also go 10-0 against the same people. And what I did in the past is when I saw someone do something that I did not know about, I would try to basically instantly do it myself and have my own take on it. I think that helped me into improving my own, I suppose, game style or game styles, because I kind of switch around sometimes. How about you?
Yeah, kind of similar process really. Always trying to see what other people are doing, trying to give it your own touch really.
Exactly. And as a final tip, let a friend spam you in a 1v1. Now I'm gonna put in a description a few commands that you can put into the console. And with those commands you can, for example, disable time limit, you can disable getting damage, or you can enable God mode, etc, etc. And doing that means you can just wham on your friend, and you can just wham it endlessly. Now what the point here is to have your friend spam something against you that you're not used to. Spam something that you can't deal with. Spam the most annoying things you can find in the game. Now what that allows you to do is find openings, because spam does have openings. So if you're like blocking, let's say you just spam spam light against me, whatever. I just keep looking and analyzing and just find an opening like that. Very simple. Now, I'm not saying do it only that and just use everything that is way too hard to deal with in person, and then let a friend spam it to you and take turns doing that. That will actually, it's probably the fastest way to deal with the most annoying things in the game, and that's how I personally did it. That's really my trick to deal with the things I didn't know how to deal with. I had someone spam it to me until I knew how to deal with it. Alright, those were 5 tips. Video ended up a little bit longer than I thought. This is, well, actually I should ask you about that. What do you think about that tip, that last tip?
Also, if you don't have a friend who can help you out, like in my case, beginning of the game, you can always try to use the same annoying move against an opponent who is better than you, and look what he's doing and copy a bit what he's doing.
Exactly. Alright, closing this video down. This was kind of our first dual tutorial, dual tips and tricks video. Been a little bit rough, but I would like if you had any feedback for us in the comments. I'll definitely read it, and we're gonna improve on our videos in the future, of course. if you, like he said, if you don't have any funds you can do this with, you can visit by the server Sexy Food. It is the home of our group Refinement, and we're also hosting a tournament there, a fencing tournament, quite unique tournament right now. You can still sign in. It's gonna be, I think, next week, end of next week, 28th of December is when the tournament will begin. Exactly. So sign in, and we'll see you on that tournament. Once again, that's Sexy Food. You'll see it on the server list. It has the most unique maps so far. We are Refinement, a group of currently a sort of top player group. Top players and artists. More information is in the description once again. Also, as a side note, you can win prizes for that tournament. You will win actual full games, full retail games, and you'll get your own personal cape that nobody else in the entire game has, just like this one right here I got for winning the summer tournament. Alright, we're gonna wrap this video completely up now, properly. I'm Huarts, and we are with Shooting Star, and I'll hope to see you sometime next week.
Chill.